Hello, my name is Kingzs. I am an author, writer, thinker, poet. This video is, as the title says, how can you be productive with your grief? Um, yeah, so let's just get right into it. So, first, you should be productive with your grief because excuse me, it kind of gives you an outlet to really get out the way that you're feeling. And when I was, I would say at the earlier stages of my grief, my outlet was writing. And writing was something that I've always done, always did. But grief kind of really awakened the writer in me. And it just allowed me to just convey the way I was feeling. It's kind of like you take the cap off of like a bottle of soda that you like shook up. And it's like, okay, now all that pressure is released. That was writing for me. Everybody has their own thing, you know. It doesn't have to be writing for you. Um, Maybe you bake. I don't know. Maybe you just cook in general. Something. I don't really. I don't really have like a particular thing that you should do. Just whatever you're passionate about, I should say. Yeah. I feel it's best to really direct your attention, put your efforts into developing something that you're passionate about using your grief. Uh, because it kind of allows you, as I've said, to just get things out. You're not sitting with all these feelings festering, hoping to one day not feel that way. You have an outlet. And with my grief, I was able to write a book. And essentially, the book is really just, it kind of touches on all of the themes associated with being human, like how it can be very chaotic. I struggled with loving myself a lot. I actually didn't know how to love myself. I didn't love myself. I was struggling with heartbreak, not feeling valued, uh, just longing for someone that I know didn't want me, and it was just like terrible. So I was just sitting and I just kept writing. I always write whenever I'm feeling really bottled up with my emotions. I always write, maybe journal. But I had got this random idea and I was like, oh, what if I do like this kind of book, this book where it's like this narrator communicating with their inner self, but it's like, oh, the inner self, like their words are always italicized, so it's kind of like you have like a bunch of conversations going. And here we are now. Oh, I feel like something in my eye. Please, not now. Okay, okay, I'm good. I'm good. So yeah, that's how I got to this book here. And like I said, it might not be a book for you. It could be something else. I also don't think that you should force yourself to be productive. What I did with this book is kind of just let things come naturally. Even when it comes to writing poetry, I try to let it come naturally. Usually, how it is for me is like I'll get like this itch to like write, and it's like, okay, I can feel something like, okay, I want to write something, or something's on my mind and I just want to get it out, and I end up writing something. I notice that when I force myself to really be productive, I get frustrated. I end up sitting there really overthinking about what I'm writing. I'm like, oh, nobody wants to read this. Like, this sounds corny. Oh, you already talked about this. Why are you talking about it again? Like, you can't do that. Your work's going to sound repetitive. Just really going in on myself. And I just have to, like, stop and be like, okay, well, this is our thing. This is what I do. I write. And I shouldn't be policing my passion. Don't police your passion. Your passion should be able to exist in all of its beauty. I mean, think about the word passion. It sounds beautiful. It doesn't sound like it should be policed. My eye. Please, please, freaking eyelashes. Okay. Yes, be very kind to yourself during the process. It's very easy to critique your own work, be your worst critic. You can't just I noticed what I did a lot is that I would kind of create these scenarios in my head, or like create versions, or create like these personas that I would like imagine as people like viewing my work and think, oh, okay, yeah, they'd probably think like this, or they probably think like that, like based off of what I read. And I'm just like, that's all because of like something from the past that I've seen, and this is just it manifesting now. And awareness is the first step to, undoing any of that. Unlearning bad habits, awareness is the first step. Because if you don't recognize that it's a bad habit, you're just going to keep doing it. Um, yeah, I honestly think that everyone should be productive with their grief. My grief was just like the main catalyst to my success as a writer. And I kind of felt like when I said that, because I don't really see myself as like successful with writing, because I'm not like, well known. I'm not where I want to be at, but I'm still working on that. We're always working on ourselves over here. You know, um, I just mean successful as in like I'm doing it. Doing something is success. Being able to do something is success in all stages. You could be terrible at something, but you're still kind of doing it. So, like, success is there. I don't think you should get too hung up on the whole success thing, because I feel like when it comes to success, it's really just us holding ourselves to a standard. And if you don't meet that standard, the effect is almost always negative. And we need less negativity in our lives, maybe just a little bit. Maybe, no, yeah, we do. And uh, I just feel like with this book, now that I have it, it's kind of just like the person who I was before in tangible form. I think that's also something that you can look forward to with your grief. Like when you make this thing, whatever it may be, you can, you know, look at it in hindsight and be like, oh, wow, this is how I was before, Maybe it'll help you get over your grief. Maybe by the time you're done with it, you'll be like, this is what I was grieving about. Like, this isn't so bad now. Or, you might be like, okay, well, I don't want to feel this way anymore. Um, or I should say, I don't want you, or I should say that you can say, I don't want this thing to make me feel this way anymore. I don't want to let this thing make me feel this way anymore. Because I think that that's really what letting go is. when you make the conscious decision to say, okay, I don't want to be drawn into the same patterns by this thing anymore. I don't want it to make me confused, like impact my mental in the way that it's done in the past. Whenever this thing comes up, I'm just going to be indifferent towards it and stop reacting to it in the way that I've done before or at all. That's really what letting go is. And that's something that I learned that has been incredibly beneficial because in the past, I was like, oh, letting go means you just don't think about that thing anymore and it just doesn't come to you because you don't care. And I still very much cared. I still very much thought of that thing. So I was like, oh, I guess I'm just never gonna let go. Like I'm never gonna get there. Come to find out, letting go was really just you deciding to let go. Literally, just stop. Yeah, that was pretty much all I had. You should most certainly be productive with your grief. I think something beautiful will come out of it. Just like you, you're beautiful. And as I've always said before, or at least I'm going to say it again now, be kind to yourself at all stages of grief, especially if you plan on turning it into something productive. Be kind to yourself through all stages of that. You know, the vision and execution, they don't always line up. You need to be accepting that things don't always go as planned, and that's okay. You know, you can look at it as a test for when that time comes again. You'll be like, okay, I dealt with this. I can figure it out. I wrote a book with my grief. uh, if you did read it, you can see that I went through all of the emotions, all of the stages of grief, including going backwards, because that's something that will happen in with grief and healing. You will go up, down, left. Oh, that's right, left, right, every direction, and there's nothing you can do about it but just go along for the ride. So please hold your own hand on that ride. That is something that I have learned to do. Hold your hand through all times of turbulence. It really does help. And I mean, actually hold your hand. Like, stop for a moment, say to yourself, give me your hand. Just hold your hand and just be with yourself. Connect with yourself in that moment. And don't force yourself to be productive with your grief. You don't have to. If you're one of those people and you're like, you know what, when it comes to my grief, I just want to exist and just let things happen naturally, just continue doing what I always did, and, just let go in my own way, do that. This is all about you and what's best for you. I'm communicating what's best for me and what I also think would work for other people. But you don't have to do the same thing that I did. It's okay. I fully support you. I think that's it. I would appreciate it if you liked, commented, subscribe, checked out my book. All my links are in the description, my website. It'll take you to everything you need to know about me, my social media, all that. And I'm also still writing. There will most certainly be more books to come. I'm gonna write, well, I'm obviously writing another poetry book, collection, whatever. I think this one will actually be a collection. And then I want to write like a short stories kind of book that'll touch on different themes, like maybe like fantasy, maybe horror, love, romance, whatever. And then an actual romance novel. And I'm in the midst of writing all three. It's kind of everywhere right now. I'd say I have a couple pages done for the romance and short stories novel, but like the poetry collection, I'm gonna write some more poetry, but it could be done in terms of the literature, not the actual book itself. You know, a lot more goes into that than just, you know, actually writing the book. You gotta do other shit. So yes, my name is Kingzs. I am an author, writer, poet, and my goal is to make you feel heard, seen, validated, and valued in my work or from my work, and just for me talking to you like this. So if I did help you, that means literally everything to me. Like I just want to help people, especially if I feel like I I've been in their place before. I just got stuff to say. Like that too. I just got stuff to say and I want to help people. That's just what I'm here to do. You know, I feel like one of the worst things ever is to be going through something or have went through something and then like nobody sees you, nobody is validating you, nobody value you feel like you're unvalued. Like that was one of the most painful things that I felt. I still feel that by my, you know, ex. I still feel unvalued. Um in the way that you should value someone that you're with. Yeah, it wasn't that. Anyway, yes, that is my goal as an artist. That's it. Yeah, that's good. As an artist, that is my goal, to make you feel seen, heard, validated, and valued. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you